I'm sorry.
Can I ask you a hypothetical that just sort of helps me to flesh that out? Because I also heard you suggest earlier that there's something different about race. Maybe the person wouldn't sell to someone of a different race. So suppose you say that photography is expressive. Can you give me your thoughts on a photography business in a shopping mall during this holiday season that offers a product called Scenes with Santa? And this business wants to express its own view of nostalgia about Christmases past by reproducing classic 1940s and 1950s Santa scenes. They do it in sepia tone, and they are customizing each one. This is not off a rack. They're really bringing the people in and having them interact with Santa, children, because they're trying to capture the feelings of a certain era. But precisely because they're trying to capture the feelings of a certain era, their policy is that only white children can be photographed with Santa in this way, because that's how they view the scenes with Santa that they're trying to depict. Now, the business will gladly refer families of color to the Santa at the other end of the mall who'll take anybody, and they will photograph families of color in other scenes. So they're not discriminating against the families. What they're saying is Scenes with Santa is preserved for white families, and they want to have a sign next to the Santa that says only white children. Why isn't your argument that they should be able to do that? And maybe it is.
Because in the photograph itself, the objection is not contained in that photograph. But in addition, I think it's important to remind the court that—
No, don't leave. Sorry. What do you mean? I mean, the objection, just like your client's objection, is to expressions that violate their own views of what is being depicted. And so their view of what is being depicted is that a scene with Santa and a child on the lap and all of that in sepia tone, trying to harken back to the good old days, should only have white children in it. That's their firm belief. They are not willing to take photographs of Black, Hispanic, Asian children on Santa's lap. Why is that any different than a situation like this?
Because the specific objection that you're including is not necessarily in that photograph, but even if it were, this court has protected vile, awful, reprehensible, violent speech in the past, and it is never compelled.
No, I'm just asking you, why is the objection of the web designer, as Justice both Kagan and Sotomayor has pointed out, when we look at your examples, they just say things like, please come to the wedding on this day.
Precisely. It's an invitation to a wedding.
Okay, so if my hypothetical is an invitation to join me in the 1950s through looking at this photo, you say one is different?
I say that that same clarity of the message isn't in that photo, but there are difficult lines to draw, and that may be an edge case, but this is not. We have a creator of speech and a very clear message.
It may be an